welcome to the Victorious Living Solutions podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nikeya Young, and welcome to season 9 of the podcast. You guys, we are moving right along. I believe this is episode 96. Yeah, so we are a few episodes shy of that 100th mark. If you're just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Victorious Living Solutions, in addition to being a podcast, we are a transformative coaching company that empowers high potential leaders and teams to crush their goals despite life's challenges and live victoriously. So today we're going to have a discussion about the topic. Well, before I tell you the topic, the theme for this season, season 9, has been kingdom business. Kingdom business. So all of the topics we've been talking about have been just inspiring people who are kingdom minded to do what they need to do in the business that God has given them. So if you are just starting out in business, or if you've been in business for a while and you just need a little encouragement, motivation, inspiration, this is the season for you. So go ahead and share it with everyone you know who also needs some business encouragement. And you're going to love the rest of the season. Also, be sure to go back and listen to the previous episodes from this season as well. All right. So for today's topic, we are talking about 5 people every business owner needs. 5 people every business owner needs. Now, this is kind of a tricky topic because there's a whole bunch of people, because you're like, just 5? You need way more than 5, of course. And there's a whole lot of people that I could say, but the people who are just starting out in business, you know that when you're just starting out and you have not hit the profit margins that you want to hit in order to be able to scale and take it up a notch, until you do that, honey, you are all the people. You are doing everything under the sun, and that's okay for a season. So I wanted to tailor my list so that there's a little bit of something for everybody. And without further ado, let's get into it. So now the first one, I know we are all the things when we're starting out in business, but this first one on my list, you do not want to try to do this one. You really want to leave this one to the experts. And that is legal expert. Legal expert. That is one of those things where you're going to have to just go ahead and cough up the cash and get it done correctly, because you need a legal expert to help you with trademarking your business, compliance issues, making sure that you're doing what you need to do the way it's supposed to be done from a legal standpoint so that you don't get in trouble further down the road. That's not something that you want to, oh, I saw something on TikTok, I'm going to try it, right? Legal stuff is not one of those things, okay? So what I would do is go ahead and start asking around in your network and asking your friends and business owners whom you admire who they recommend or who they use, right? So that's the first one. You want to get a good legal expert. Number 2, this is really important, okay? This is really, really important. And I say a supportive spouse. And I know some of you may not be married, but if you're dating, even just a supportive partner, business is rough. And so you want to make sure that the person that is your person is fully supportive of what it is that you're doing. Just because that is a person that you're spending a lot of time with, that is the person that you're venting to, that you're talking about everything that's going on and all of that. And if they're not supportive, because they are the closest to you, if they're not supporting you, that is going to distract you in a huge way from doing what you've got to do business wise. So a supportive spouse or partner is a non-negotiable. Okay. And so you really need to just sit down and itemize how your spouse can support you more. Like, what do you need? Sometimes they may want to support you, but they don't know how to best support you. I'll put it like that. So make sure that you're clearly communicating that and letting them know, because that is key. Don't need them kind of distractions, honey. Get a supportive partner, supportive spouse. Okay, moving on to number three. And this one is important. As a coach, I can tell you that it is invaluable to have someone to coach you. Um, and so number three is an executive coach. And that is one of those things that's not free. Executive coaching costs. And you're like, well, what is an executive coach? What do they do? It is like a life coach for business people, for people in leadership. They help you with goal setting. They help you, stay accountable for your goals and really help you strategize for what you're trying to do in your business. And the reason I say it's important to pay for a coach if you can. And I will have another option that I'm going to talk about in a second if you're not able to pay for an executive coach at the moment. But it adds an extra layer of accountability if you've put some skin in the game. Nobody is going to pay top dollar for, or, whatever the fee is for an executive coach and then sit there and not do the things that the executive coach is telling you to do. Right. So, yeah, executive coach is key. And I was going to say, if you're not able to pay for an executive coach, just having a good old fashioned accountability partner is good too. But again, there's going to be some extra onus that's going to fall on you. It is either way, but when you're not paying money and the accountability partner is just someone you're close friends with, um, you may be more prone to not do it or just take it as, okay, it's a suggestion. Okay, I'll get to it if I get to it. Right. Whereas if you're paying for a coach, you're like, all right, I don't want to waste money. Let me do what I got to do. But either way, that is number three, an executive coach, which you can contact Victorious Living Solutions. Go to victoriousliving-solutions.com if you're interested in hiring me as your executive coach. I do not do regular individual life coaching anymore, but I do executive coaching, group coaching, workshops, all that. So, yeah. I'll leave it at that. So if you want to contact me, feel free to do that. Otherwise, find an accountability partner, a really close friend that you can set up some times to talk to them once a week or whatever. Like, let them know what your goals are and give them permission to check you. Give them permission to hold you accountable for doing what you said you were going to do in your business, right? Anybody who is in business and is surrounding themselves with a whole bunch of yes people, get ready to head towards disaster eventually. Not if, but when. If all you have around you is people who, you know, just basically treat you like your poo don't stink and can't tell you, hold you accountable when you're doing something that you don't need to do or when you're about to make a mistake or whatever have you, um, that's not good. So your accountability partner, in addition to just helping you stay on track with your goals, also needs to be able to hold you accountable if you're not, right? If you're getting off track, if you're doing self-sabotaging behaviors, they need to be like, yo, this is not where you said you wanted to be. And you told me to hold you accountable and I'm doing that. Make a U-turn and go back, right? So all of that is number three. Number four. Now, you may think when I say number four that it's the same as number three, but it's not. So, number four is a mentor. And you're like, okay, well, isn't that the same as an executive coach or an accountability partner? No, it is not. A mentor is someone who is doing the thing that you are trying to do in whatever area you're in. Now, they may not have the exact same business type as you, but they are at the level in business that you are aspiring to get to. And so you want to have a mentor that is there and you can meet up with them. Now, because they're your mentor, business mentor, they're running a successful business. So they're not super duper available because they're busy, right? Running $1 million company or whatever have you. But maybe once a month or something, y'all can set aside time to go for coffee and they can pour into you. If you're going to have a mentor, because they're so busy, they are worth their weight in gold. Anyone who is that successful and who is willing to take time to meet with you a couple of times a year or, once a month or whatever it is, that's worth its weight in gold. Don't waste these people's time.
And you're paying for the meal.
Uh, I love it. My executive producer slash hubby says you're paying for the meal. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the least you can do, right? Um, if you go out for coffee so they can pour into you, don't let them buy their own coffee. You better pay for that coffee. You better pay for that lunch as your way of saying thank you, that you greatly appreciate them taking time to, sow seeds into you, right? And mentor you, help you grow. So yeah, that's similar to an executive coach, but not the same. An executive coach is literally coaching you every step of the way. So you're going to sign up for so many sessions and you're going to meet, the same day and time or whatever. You're going to do those sessions out. Mentors' time is not as rigid as that. Um, and so you don't meet as often. And, this is just someone who you look up to, who's where you're trying to get to, who is willing to help you get there. Okay. So, and then you want to, in addition to paying for their meal or their coffee or their whatever have you, bring a notepad. Are you kidding me? They're going to be dropping gems and you're just going to trust yourself to keep it all in your head and remember everything. Absolutely not. You're going to bring a notepad and you're going to be, yep, okay, got it. You're going to be writing all that down. Um, so, yeah, that is number 4. So, to review, a legal expert. Number 2, a supportive spouse or partner. Number 3, an executive coach slash accountability partner if you're not able to get an executive coach at the moment. Number 4, a mentor. Now, here's another thing you can do for number 4. If you don't have any mentors that you can think of right now, until you're able to find an actual mentor to meet in person with, I always say you can have a mentor in my head, right? Via books. I love books. I promote reading a lot on this show. You see the books behind me on my shelf. Readers are leaders. Okay. So until you're able to get an actual mentor, find people who you look up to in business that are doing what you want to do, who are like, yes, one of these days I'm going to be where that person is. And look up every book they've ever written and get to reading, right? You should be doing that anyway, right? And that is a way of having a mentor. You've never met this person, but you are reading their materials, you're listening to their podcast if they have a podcast, you're watching their YouTube videos, whatever have you, you're, soaking up their content and listening to their testimonials of how that they were able to overcome challenges and get to where they are, which is where you're trying to get to. And so, yeah, mentor. If you don't have an actual mentor, no excuse. Find a mentor in my head person and start your research. All right. Here is the last one. See, I'm not going to be before y'all long. I'm keeping it real simple today. Um, Real simple, but real practical. And that is a strong pastor slash spiritual advisor. Okay. So this should be someone that understands business, even if every pastor is not a marketplace business type of pastor, right? Different pastors have different specialties, different anointings. But even if they're not called to that, they should at least have an appreciation for or understanding for someone who is in business, who is called to the marketplace, who is called to make money, make a lot of money, who's not going to be telling them stuff like, money is the root of all evil and guilt tripping you for becoming successful. Right? I'm being humorous, but I'm keeping it real. And so, by the way, that's straight out of context. I hate when people say money is the root of all evil. And then, me being petty, my response to that is then, okay, great, give me yours. I know you don't want all that evil money in your pocket. If money is the root of all evil, give me yours. Okay. So that's not it. It's the love of money, the idolization of money is the root of all evil, but not money itself. Money is a tool, it's a resource that we use to get the things that we need down here. And so, if God has called you to be a business owner and called you to profit, um, giving you the tools to profit, you want a pastor that supports that, that understands that and encourages you and offers you spiritual direction. Okay, that is going to be really, really key because anytime you get ready to do anything for God, now, if you're doing it for the devil, he'll leave you alone because he already got you. You are no threat to his kingdom. He already know when you blow up and you make all this money, you ain't gonna tithe no way. He ain't really studying you like that. You cool. But if you are trying to do this thing the kingdom way, then the devil gonna be deviling. Now he ain't gonna have the victory. You still have the victory, but you're still gonna need somebody to help you get through those challenges, to intercede for you, and yes, have a level of accountability on the spiritual end. That's somebody that's just gonna hold you down and is just gonna make sure that when you rise in success, when you have money, and money doesn't have you. Right? So that's an extra layer of accountability for the spiritual side of things as you start to elevate into the places that God has called you to be. All right. So those are the 5 people I have. Who would you add? Who would you add? And again, I didn't want to make it too, because again, there's a whole bunch of people we could say. Definitely like an accountant, tax person type of thing. What else could we say, babe? Um, Social media marketing person. Um, I know a great digital marketing person. Cough, cough. YCS Web Agency. Cough, cough. If you guys seen all of our materials, our website looks phenomenal. All of our marketing materials for this podcast and for Victorious Living Solutions, they were all done by the amazing Rodney Young Jr., who is our digital marketing expert. So if you're able to hire someone to do that, go to ycswebagency.com and check him out. He is phenomenal. If you're in need of a website, all that stuff, check him out. But, I didn't add those kinds of people to this list, even though you do need them, just because I wanted to make a list that, again, catered to new business owners and people who've been in business for some time. And again, when you're starting, you need those people, but you may not be able to hire them right now. So you are doing all the things. So that's why I'd include those people. But anybody else you would add to the list, I would love to hear your thoughts. Add them to the comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Again, I'm Dr. Nikeya Young, CEO and founder of Victorious Living Solutions, and I will see you next time. Keep living victoriously. Bye, everybody.